Hi everyone, welcome to LearnRed Computer Tutorials. In today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to answer question 2 of WAEC 2014 computer practical question. So this is the question as displayed. We have been asked to use a spreadsheet program to insert the heading candidate score in 5 subjects. We are also asked to show the scores of 10 students in 5 different subjects. So we are expected to create this table in a spreadsheet program. I will be making use of Microsoft Excel 2013 to create this work. That is one of the most commonest spreadsheet package, which most schools use for Microsoft for spreadsheet program. So this question, in order to attempt it, I'll go back to my desktop and I'm going to open the Microsoft Excel. I'm clicking on that on the taskbar. I'm opening the Microsoft Excel application software. Then you click on blank workbook. Now this is the Microsoft Excel environment, 2013 environment. I want to go back to my question. My question is asking me to show the scores of 10 candidates in 5 subjects. So meaning that I'm supposed to replicate the information I have on this table in an Excel spreadsheet and worksheet. So what I'm going to do is I'll start typing from SN. Each of the alphabets you see up here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, they signify the column locator. While 1, 2, 3 to 11, they signify the row locator. Let me go back to the Excel environment. Now this is the Excel environment. Look at this. We have A, B, C, D. This is the column locator. So this is column A, column B, column C, column D, and so on. This 1, 2, 3 downward is what the row locator, and this is row 1, row 2, row 3, and so on downward. So under column A and row 1, what do we have? Let's trace that from the question. Column A, row 1, we have SN. Column B, row 1, we have names. Column C, row 1, we have English. Column D, row 1, we have maths. Column E, row 1, we have civic. Column F, row 1, we have CCA, and column G, row 1, we have biology. Column H, row 1, we have total and 100%. Then column H, row 1, we have exam average. Column J, row 1, we have max score, and column K, row 1, we have grade. So I'm going to enter all this to row 1 on my spreadsheet. Please just watch how I do that. So we have SN in capital letter, S/N. Then I go back to my question. Then I have names, English, and maths. So I have names 100%. Now how do I bring this down? Because if you look at the question, the 100% is down while the total is up. So how do you do this? You click on that cell and you click on wrap text. You can see that it's bringing the 100 down. Then the next cell contains what? We have exam average, the mark score, and grade. Exam average, mark score, and grade. Exam average. And the next cell contains grade. So don't forget, this one is exam average, but you can see the cell limit, the cell limit here is cutting off the remaining part of the content of that cell. So what am I going to do? I'm going to use wrap text on that cell. That brings the average downward, just the same way it is in the question. Click on wrap text, you have mark score, and you have your grade. So that's settled. Then we can now enter the other information. We have under SN, we have 1 to what? We have 1 to 10 under SN. So I start by numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then under names, what do I have under names? Under names, I have Adeolu, Olabisi, Eti James. I'll type that. Let's increase the size of the cell a little bit. Adeolu, BC, Eti James, Victor, Chidi. Then the next cell I have OT Mike, Mark David, OT David. Then the next cell I have Kuti Boko and Ali Jeje. Kuti Boko, Ali Jeje. Kuti Jeje. I'm taking the cell limits, I'm reducing the cell width. So now, or the column width, you can also call the column width. The column width can be adjusted from the line in between each of the column alphabets or column locators. So when you put your mouse in between the two column names, you will see an arrow pointing to the left and to the right. You hold down your left mouse button and you drag either towards the left or right. Then you see that the column will be adjusted. The same with the row. To adjust the row width, you just hold down the mouse in between the line that exists between the name of that column. Take for instance 2 and 3. That's the name of the rows. So you hold down the mouse button and drag either up or down, you will see, and that is how to adjust the cell height or the column, the row width, or sorry, row height. Now let's move on with the question. After that, let's begin to enter in the score so that we can finalize our work. So we have 17, 18, 19, 12, 7, 58, 56. Then for biology, no score is given here, but let's just supply any score to fill in for biology so that we can get the average of the 5 subjects. So we just 45. Yes. But in your question, a score will be supplied under each of the subjects, or you will be asked to fix your own score under the one that is not supplied. Now let's move on. Let's go back to the question. The question says, using a spreadsheet program, insert a heading, candidates score in 5 subjects, and center it. Candidates scores in 5 subjects. We'll come back. If you look at our rows here, the work has been, there is no more space, no space has been given here for the heading. So in order to get your space, what you are going to do is you are going to right click on the row 1 locator, which is 1. You right click there and you click on insert. As soon as you click on insert, another row will be generated. As soon as you click on insert, another row will be generated upward. So this is where I'm going to type. Just click on cell A1 and type what you want to type in capital letter. Candidates in 5. Candidate scores in 5 subjects. We are asked to type and what centralize it. So you are going to select from cell A1 to K1. That is the end of the table. So then you now click on center, merge and center. That will help to centralize it and merge the cells. Having done that, the next thing to do is go back to our question, create table. Using question 2C says, using the appropriate formula, determine the total score for each candidate in column 8. The total score for each candidate in column 8. Now let's go back to our question. Using the appropriate formula. So what you are going to do is type equal sign, you type sum, open bracket, you select from here, you hold down your mouse, left button of your mouse, starting from C3, you drag it down to G3, then you close the bracket and press enter. Don't forget, anytime you want to make use of formula, you must start with either your equal sign or you start with a plus sign. Having done that, then you drag down the formula. Hope you saw that. You come down to the bottom right corner where you have a dot on the cell. After selecting the cell, you click to select the cell. At the bottom right corner, you put your mouse pointer there. The mouse pointer changes from a white cross to what? To a black cross. Then you drag down to the end of your work where you want the formula or where you want all the scores to be replicated. So the sum has been automatically calculated. Starting from here, to click down, you will see C4 sum C4 to G4 and so on till you get to the word to record to the 10th student, which is Ali Jeje. That makes your work faster than typing the formula one by one in each of the cells. Now, another way of doing this, instead of doing that, you can, let me delete this off. You can likewise use this method. You come up here and you click on auto sum. You can see it has been selected C3 to G3, then you just press your enter. That will also hand you the same answer. Another method of doing this is to use your equal sign, then you begin to click on them one after the other, then you strike your plus, then this plus, then this plus, then this plus, this, then you put your after that you don't need any other plus, then you press your enter. This is also going to give you, then you drag that we can use to accomplish that. So having done that, added the total score to each of the students. The next thing that we are asked to do in the question is to find the average score for each candidate in column 9. So we are going to find the average score. So we are going to be using formula for that too. Equal sign, you type average, open the bracket, then average should be what? So I'll prefer we do it this way. There are two ways of doing it. If we want to make use of the total score, what we are going to do is average should be total score divided by number of subjects, divided by, which is total score divided by 5. We have 5 subjects. That's a way of doing it. Then you drag it downward to copy down the formula. But if you don't want to use that method, there's another method which we can use. You can type equals, you type your average, then open brackets, then you are finding the average of these 5 subjects. You select the 5 subjects on that row, close the bracket. Don't forget, or don't mistakenly select the total score in column H. It's not part of it. The 5 subjects, then close your bracket and press enter. That will also give you the correct answer. Then you drag downward to copy the formula downward for other cells below, so that you don't need to start typing each of the answers individually. Having done that, the next thing on the question is saying that in the row following the 10th candidate, type the name of the best candidate and his or her average score. Now, before we do that, let's quickly calculate the remaining scores. We have mass score here and we have the grade. How do you calculate mass score? You have equals, then you have max. You open your bracket. We want to know the maximum score between each of the 5 subjects. Close the bracket and enter. the maximum score is 45. You can drag that downward. Then we want to have a grade for each of the scores. We want to have a grade. So what are we going to do now? What we are going to do now, to have a grade for our total score, you have to formulate something. Actually, this is not part of what is being asked in the question to be done, but I just want to cover this so that we can have a kind of a glimpse of how we can calculate, find the grade in Excel environment, a spreadsheet environment. So you put your if sign. If your average is less than, I just want to form a kind of grade system. So if my average is less than 40, then I will say that the student failed. So I'll have what's failed, or F9. You have to quote that. You have a comma. After the comma, you have if again, open brackets. If your average, which is this, is less than 50, you can give D7, or let's say E8. Well, for that, let me so if it is less than 45, I say E8, comma again. If my average score is less than, if the average score is less than 50, then you have something like, that should be D7. Then if my average score, if the average score of the student, you click on the average score again, which is I3. If the average score, if should start, that's open bracket. Then if the average score, which is this, is less than 60, and we have let's say C6, then if the average score, open bracket, if the average score, which is this, is less than 70, I'm just trying to form a grade system. Let's say C5. We are going to quote that C5. Then if the average score is, and this is the average score, I3 is less than 75, and let's say that is C4, and then if the average score is, this is the average score, again I3 is less than 80, let's say that is B3. Then we now have again, if the average score, open brackets, this average score you click, is less than 85, let's say it is if it is less than 85, that's B2. Then if the last will now be, if the average score, this average score is less than let's say, or let's not use it as less than, if it is greater than or equal to 85, then the student should have A1 quotes. Then you are going to start applying your closing parentheses or brackets until you have a black color. This is not a black color. until you see a black color, then you stop. Can you see? That one is black, then you stop. Another way you can do it is you can count the number of brackets open, then you have to apply that same number in your closing bracket, then you press your enter key. So since this person, the average score is less than 40, is going to, or 45, sorry, 40 is going to have F9. So you can drag this downward. This will work for the grade, all F9, because they are all less than 40. So having done that, you are asked to type something in the next cell. Look at here, in the row that is following the 10th candidate, type the name of the best candidate and his or her average score. So let's go back to the question. This is the row that follows the 10th candidate, the name of the candidate. If you look at the score, which of these candidates have the highest score? The highest score, to find out the highest score, just come here, equals, and what, type max, open the bracket, select all the average score, close the bracket and enter. The highest score is 33.6, and who has that? 33.6, that is Etty James. So that will type the name of the candidate that has the highest score, Etty James, you know, and the score the candidate has. So that's how to handle that. After that, you are being asked to save your work in suitable storage and print out the hard copy. How do we do that? All you need to do is come to File and click on Save. Select Browse and choose your storage location. Let's say mine is desktop. And you know, the name of the document is I put candidate score, then, or at times you are being asked to save it with your name. At times you are being asked to save with your full name and registration number. But let me just put candidate score, then you click on save. It has been saved in that location. You can come, when you go up to the title bar, you will see candidate score, then Excel. This is the name of the package and the name of the file, candidate score, and the name of the package is Microsoft Excel. So having done that, the next thing on the question is for you to print out the hard copy of your work and submit. How do you accomplish this? You come up here to File and you click on Print. So it brings out this. So when you get this, if you look at my document, you can see that part of the work I did is cutting off over here. So how do I get that part into my page so that when I try to print out the document, I don't lose those information, because that's very important. If you come down here and you click on 2, the remaining part of your work is moving down to page 2. So how do I make sure that everything is showing on one page? There are two things you can do. You can change the portrait orientation here to landscape. You can see that's bringing out everything you have. But if you still want to maintain the portrait, what you just need to do is come down to scaling and click on fit sheet on one page. And see, that would also adjust everything you have and bring everything down to one page. But I would prefer using landscape because this makes your work more bold and more visible for the examiner to see and to mark. So I would suggest that you make use of landscape orientation for your printing. Having done that, your work shouldn't be more than one page, one of one. So all you just need to do is select here, you click on 1 and to 1. Then you select your printer and you click on print. As you do that, the document will be printed out of your computer and you will have the hard copy of your document. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel by clicking the subscribe button below and like this video. Thank you. So in the subsequent video, I'll be treating the third question, which is question number 3 for 2014 WAEC examination, computer practical examination. Thank you very much. Over.